we went to sleep knowing that the outcome is likely to change as more votes are counted, especially in states like Pennsylvania, where we've been saying this is how things would happen. No one should be surprised, but one person has to pretend to be surprised. And that person is Donald Trump, who woke up tweeting, "Last night I was leading, often solidly, in many key states, in almost all instances, Democrat run and controlled. Then one by one, they started to magically disappear as surprise ballot dumps were counted. Very strange. And the pollsters got it completely and historically wrong." So I don't know if those two parts of that tweet are supposed to be connected about the pollsters getting it wrong. That's a separate conversation that we can have. But understand that he is now pitching the continued count of ballots that have been in hand for days or weeks as mysterious ballot dumps appearing. There's no mysterious ballot dumps. That's not a thing. He's got dumps on the mind, I guess, but they're not dumps. They've had these votes. They're just more votes that they're counted. That's it.
Yeah, these are a bit of this strategy process, this process, and the strategy that I think his advisors and himself put together. Don't work in this year. Don't work in this age of information. Don't work in this age of where people will spread that information before you get a chance to do it. If people aren't able to see and pay attention to everything that you do the way we used to be with elections and with presidents and the White House, you don't have as much access to what's going on. You could pull something like this and people go, "Oh my God, look at that." He said there's a dump. Everyone knows that there's no dumps of ballots because we were able to pay attention before you come up with the lie that's already been disproven beforehand. It's just, I don't know how many more plays you have left. You're fighting against reality that everyone gets to see.
Yeah, you got to give him some credit for staying on message for once. There was at least a 50% chance under normal circumstances that him talking about mysterious dumps would lead to him talking about how toilets don't flow enough water anymore. But no, he's on the election thing. He continued tweeting, "How come every time they count mail-in ballot dumps, they are so devastating in their percentage and power of destruction?" Okay, dude, we're not talking about like white phosphorus weapons. We're not talking about the atom bomb. We're talking about ballots that someone's grandma sent. That's it. They're not devastating in the power of their destruction. You got outvoted in the mail-in ballots. And you have exactly one person to blame, yourself. None of this needed to be this way. There's no reason that the mail-in ballots should be going more for Democrats than for Republicans. And in regular elections, they don't. This is the product of a campaign for months to convince Republicans not to send in their ballots via the mail. This is what he wanted, this is what he's getting, and now he's talking about devastation and destruction and all of that.
Yeah, I want you to think about the amount of work, as you point out, the months of work to sow distrust in the election system, specifically the mail-in voting system. And after doing all that, it's a lot of work, it's a lot of planning, it's a lot of money towards it. There was ads, there was press conferences, there's energy putting forward. All of this went into, that's work. Imagine he's put this much work into actually taking care of what he's supposed to do. In fact, and actually looking into the intelligence and the scientists and the details of what's going on with COVID, and actually maybe doing something about it, or maybe actually addressing the relief problems that people are having, a problem getting a bill passed to take care of American people, small business, all the stuff that you say you want to do. Where's the work to do that? Yeah. Instead, they put in work to deceive you, to make people think this isn't really an election that you can trust. You might actually won some votes if you do something for the American people. The energy goes to negativity rather than actual work for the American people. That's how he's looking to win elections. Yeah. You can win an election if you do positive things. Take that same energy and put it to something decent. But he doesn't have that capacity.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, look, we've been talking like for 7 hours yesterday. We talked about Biden as a candidate and the Dem strategy and all the problems with that, and we're going to continue to be talking about that and the fallout from that going forward. But let's also bear in mind that if Donald Trump had done any work whatsoever, he would have won this thing easily. Like, it could be about the pandemic, it could be about virtually anything. If he even appeared to give a damn, he could have easily won re-election. But he didn't do it because he is a mediocre, lazy person who has gotten through their life being handed things. That's it, basically. And it's a good gig if you can get it. But sometimes during moments of crisis, you are expected to do the bare minimum, and he found a way to not do that. And now he's left in this position where he needs to get the courts to side with him, and he needs to get enough people to be confused about the outcome He needs them basically to be as confused as he is when he sends tweets like this. What is this all about? Now, you can't see what else is in that tweet because it contains misinformation about the election, as so many of his do, but it's something about supposedly they found 100,000 votes in Pennsylvania and every single one was for him. That's not true. That's not actually what happened, but he's tweeting about it. And then finally, I'm only gonna give you one more. This is fairly recently. He said, they are finding Biden votes all over the place in Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, and Michigan. So bad for our country. Well, it's bad for somebody. It's bad for somebody. It's the dude doing the tweeting. And you know why they're finding those votes? Because those votes were cast. The people wanted Biden, they cast votes. We've been saying it's gonna take a couple days to count those votes. And indeed, that's playing out. He's shocked. He wouldn't have been shocked if he'd been watching the damage report.
Trump was like, bad news, team, bad news. Democracy keeps popping up all over the country. We're supposed to quell this. We're supposed to stop it. What's with these votes? What are those? To say it that directly and straightforward, you're supposed to hide it a little bit, aren't you? Aren't you supposed to say something like what Mike Pence said last night? We believe in our election system. We always want to count every vote.
He did. Yeah, he had to pretend, exactly. And I'll give him minimal credit for that. There are some people that are getting credit that don't deserve it. Marco Rubio had some tweet about it's not over until the votes are cast. Every legally cast ballot must be counted. And people are like, Marco Rubio, yeah. And I'm like, do you not see what he's doing? He's just playing games with legally cast. That's the exact same thing that Donald Trump is saying. He's just gonna define legally in a way that doesn't have anything to do with the law. Marco Rubio deserves credit. Screw him. Screw him until the end of days.
These aren't supporters that are buying into that BS that Marco Rubio said. I thought you meant like they're buying into it. You mean people who know the reality?
I've seen
Marco
tweets.
Rubio is saying the right thing when he's not.
Yes, there are people who are like, good. We need responsible establishment Republicans to stand against Donald Trump. That's not what Marco Rubio is doing. Marco Rubio is seated like a tiny little monkey on Trump's shoulder, agreeing with him while appearing not to. That's all it is.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.